Okay, let's talk more then about this latest visit to the US by Afriforum and Solidarity, bringing Corne Mulder from the Freedom Front Plus. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Good to have your time on ENCA. I wonder, because you had welcomed the attention, let's say, that the Trump administration was paying to South Africa at the beginning of this month, even though there were those inaccurate claims about confiscation of land. Do you endorse the latest visit by Afriforum and Solidarity?
Let me, first of all, give some context. I think that is important. First of all, the United States is also a sovereign, independent country, and that Mr. Trump, as president, decided to make certain pronouncements. It's within his competence to do exactly so. I think those pronouncements by President Trump took all of us in South Africa by complete surprise. I don't think anybody expected that, first of all. Secondly, I'm not aware that that Afriforum or Solidarity made any claims in terms of confiscation of land, etc. at the stage. I don't think they've said that. Freedom Front Plus also did not say that. But we are a democracy, and in South Africa, citizens do have the right to travel internationally and to make themselves heard. And I think that's exactly what Solidarity and Afriforum is doing at the moment. And I don't think we can prohibit anybody from doing so. And I think we must really just put the balance in there. If you listen to what they've had to say, even this morning, they were welcomed or they were accommodated at the White House. They also had meetings at the Senate, as well as the House of Representatives. But they made it very clear that they don't want South Africa to be punished. They don't want any steps to be taken against South African citizens. And they asked the United States that please keep us part of the AGOA agreement because it will be to the detriment of South Africans if we are kicked out. I don't think there could be anything wrong for that and for them doing so. So
you, in effect, then, to answer my question, you endorse this mission by Afriforum and Solidarity?
Well, if we listen to what they are saying, do we differ from that? I don't think who differs from that.
I'm asking you, sir, if you, as the Freedom Front Plus, endorse the message that they've taken.
Absolutely.
On what basis?
Absolutely. I think it's a positive message. If they go out there and they tell the world, don't take steps that will punish South African citizens and be to our detriment. Don't kick South Africa out of AGOA. We should all welcome that, shouldn't we?
Do you endorse the message by Afriforum and Solidarity that white Afrikaner South Africans are being treated Kali Grill, in fact, in the briefing they held shortly after Trump offered white Afrikaners refugee status, said white Afrikaners in this country want to be treated as first-class citizens. So do you agree that they've not been receiving that treatment under the current dispensation?
I would prefer not to talk and think in terms of race. We are 30 years beyond 1994. I don't want to talk about white or whatever. I don't want to do that. We are South Africans. The reality is, and Afriforum and Solidarity indicates that there are more than 100 laws in South Africa. They refer to 140 laws that still make a distinction between South African citizens based on all kinds of different criteria, and I think that is unfortunate. I think we should move beyond that. That cannot be a permanent feature of South Africa, and then we must ask ourselves the question, did those measures that were supposed to bring equity and we were supposed to narrow the gap between rich and poor in South Africa, did that succeed? And that's a discussion I think that we should have.
But the point is, for years, Afriforum has said it has in fact peddled and supported the false claims that there is a white genocide in South Africa, that it is the white farming minority in this country that is even suggestions that there is more under siege than other sections of the population. That has been said. They then also went on to say that the ANC, and I'm paraphrasing, was basically running the country into the ground. It is part of the messaging and the belief.
Well, no. I think we should keep to the facts. I'm not aware that Afriforum or Solidarity ever said that there's a genocide in South Africa. Yes, there were some individuals in different organizations that made that claim, but I'm not aware that Solidarity or Afriforum ever said that. None whatsoever. If you talk about the ANC running the country into the ground, maybe we should discuss that. The fact that we've got unemployment of more than 30%, that the economy is not growing, well, somebody is responsible for that, and it could be that some policies of a government, and I'm not talking about the government of national unity. We've had an ANC government now for 30 years with certain policies and certain prescripts, And the question is, did that succeed or did that not succeed? And I think that is the discussion that we should have.
You talk about an ANC government. What's interesting is that at this point, there isn't an ANC government in South Africa. There's a government of national unity to which you're part.
But that's exactly what I said.
So that means you're part of the failure currently. So if this government is mistreating sections of the population, you're part of that government.
No. You should please listen to what I'm saying. I've said that in the past 30 years, until the election of 20 May 2024, 29th of May, there was one party governing South Africa, and that was the ANC. Since then, there's a government of national unity. We have not seen any real policies coming out of this new government of national unity. We are optimistic. We want to be part of that. And you'll remember that when the government of national unity was formed, the emphasis was placed on economic growth and job creation. I don't think the government of national unity has had the opportunity to give enough attention to that, and I think we should give the opportunity for that at this stage.
So is it not ill-advised then to have an organization, two organizations in the US basically calling, they're now saying they want targeted sanctions against individual ANC leaders, including the president, for, let's say, running the country badly? What is the point of that, which, if, as you say, since May with the GNU, there's not been enough chance to give this government an opportunity to prove itself? What is the point then? Because it is no longer just the ANC running the country.
No, we haven't seen any serious changes in that regard. We still have the same kind of setup in South Africa, and you've referred now more than once about this notion that the ANC has run the country into the ground. Maybe we should ask South Africans out there what they think about the situation in South Africa at the moment, if everything is wonderful and going ahead the way it should be. And I think you may find that people are of the view that things are not necessarily going so well at the moment. But the fact of the matter is, if Afriforum and Solidarity are calling for sanctions against certain individuals, it's their decision. It's absolutely their right. And I would draw a distinction. I don't think one should do that against the president of the country. That is something else.
So who should face sanctions then in the ANC? Who should?
Well, the fact of the matter is I haven't expressed myself in that regard. It's common cause that sometimes sanctions are against individuals in terms of their political capacity because of certain policies or certain decisions or certain deeds being taken. But that's for the United States to decide whether they want to take that up or not. But there are examples where that was done in the past. But I think the emphasis should be on the positive. Are we hearing what was said today? It was said today, please don't take steps to punish our economy. Please don't take steps to kick us out of AGOA. It's not what people want, and I don't think we can be against that.
Good and well, but when that happened, even last year, there are many other South Africans who are making a similar call. What I'm asking you is a very specific question about whether there should indeed be action taken against government leaders from the ANC, past or present, for any sort of wrongdoing or mismanagement of governance. That's what I'm trying to get from you, sir.
I don't think that is the step that now needs to be taken. No, I don't think so. For the simple reason that we do have a government of national unity. The ANC, that is the larger party in the government of national unity, has clearly expressed themselves that they want to take South Africa in terms of a different direction in this government of national unity, where we can focus on economic growth, where we can focus on job creation. I agree with that. And let's give that a chance.
Why is that the job of Afriforum to do, and not, for instance, the International Relations Department, not, for instance, the team of envoys, which even in the State of the Nation address, we were told, would now be assembled to go crisscrossing the world's capitals, explaining South Africa's foreign policy positions? Why should a lobby group, two lobby groups, be the ones to take South Africa's message and go and plead the country's case when there are official diplomatic channels? Do you think that's appropriate?
The last time I checked, we were a democracy. The last time I checked, citizens do have passports, and citizens are allowed to travel wherever they would like to travel. And citizens have a view. We've got freedom of speech. So I don't think we can be prescriptive and say people cannot do or should do this or on the other. On the other hand, maybe we should ask the question of the Department of International Affairs. Why haven't you been successful in putting South Africa's case? And there are reasons for that. For a long, long time, we had no representation on an ambassadorial level in the United States. That's an oversight, and maybe we are paying the price for that. But the relationship between South Africa and the United States and the problems we have is not something that arose yesterday. We can have a different discussion about all the things that happened over a long time which I think created a problem in that regard as well.
But Mr. Mulder, diplomatic relations aren't negotiated by organizations, interest groups. In fact, Afriforum, which very clearly says it represents, at the moment, it's speaking for white Afrikaner South Africans. There are official channels. There is an ambassador now in the United States, Ibrahim Rasool. I said to you, my question to you was, do you think it is appropriate that an interest group, two interest groups, are on this crusade when actually the government, which you again are part of as the GNU, has said there will be a team assembled of envoys who will do the work of communicating this country's foreign policy? Do you think that it's appropriate for an organization to now be in that process when there are official channels between Washington and Pretoria?
2 facts. I did not hear Solidarity at one moment say that they are there on behalf of white Afrikaners. I did not hear that. Maybe you heard it.
You're cherry-picking my question, sir, because at the beginning you said you support Afriforum, for example, going to say don't punish all South Africans. And my question then becomes, is it appropriate for them to be the ones doing the bidding of all South Africans when they're not an elected government?
I'm in the middle of answering the question. I hope that you will give me an opportunity to answer you. You made the statement that they are there on behalf of white Afrikaners. I've made the point, I've never heard them say that. So let's keep to the facts. Secondly, they are not on a crusade. You choose the word now to say that they are on a crusade. They are not on a crusade. They have opted for a constitutional right to go internationally and to go and put a case, like the ANC did for many, many years. Why are we against that? And you should focus on the message that they went to take there. Mr. Trump reached out to the Afrikaner community. As Afrikaners, they've gone there now to say, we don't want you to take steps to punish our country. Why should we be against that? They are not trying to usurp the role of the Department of International Relations. The Department of International Relations should play its role. But I think it's quite creditworthy if people from the Afrikaner community go there and say, as Afrikaners, don't punish our country.
It's interesting that you make the comparison between Afriforum and the ANC when one is a political party that contests elections and the other is something completely different. How do you draw that comparison, that equality, that equivalence?
No, the ANC was not a political party always. We all know that. I'm talking with regard to the time before 1994.
When they were fighting apartheid.
When the ANC thought... No, I'm not really, with all due respect, please give me a chance to respond to your questions. I'm talking about the time when the ANC thought it was good to internationalize their cause. That is what people do. That is how it works internationally. So Afriforum thinks that they've got a cause and they want to bring it to the attention to other people. I don't think we should prevent that, especially if it's a positive message. And I repeat it once again. Their message is, don't punish the people in South Africa. We should applaud that.
I think the cause that Afriforum, the just cause, as Gully Creel called it on Twitter today, is equivalent to the ANC's pre-94 cause? Do you think they're the same thing?
I'm not going... No, we should compare apples with apples and not apples with pears. It's 50 years later. It's completely different circumstances. And we should act within the time frame of where we are at the moment. And if a community or organization experiences from their perspective a certain value in a certain situation which they don't think is accommodative, they should be allowed to express themselves. I repeat, we are a democracy.
Corné Mulder, pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time, leader of the Freedom Front Plus.